In the heart of a small, secluded town, nestled beneath a shroud of ancient oak trees, there lay a graveyard known as the Silent Hollow Cemetery. It was a place where the restless souls of the departed were said to roam, and the townsfolk dared not speak its name after dark. But on one fateful Halloween night, we, a group of thrill-seekers, decided to defy the legends, seeking a terrifying adventure we would never forget. Along me, there were Mike, Sarah, Mark, Emily, and Jake, each carrying flashlights and a daring spirit. The moon cast an eerie glow through the gnarled branches of the ancient oaks as we entered the cemetery. The air grew colder, and the only sounds were the hoots of owls and the whisper of the wind through the tombstones. Mike led the group, his flashlight cutting through the darkness like a beacon. Shadows danced on the gravestones, and the chill in the air seemed to seep into their bones. We ventured deeper into the graveyard, our footsteps echoing in the silence. As we explored, strange things began to happen. Unexplained sounds echoed from the depths of the cemetery, whispers, laughter, and faint cries. Our flashlights flickered, casting eerie, elongated shadows on the ancient tombstones. A sense of unease settled upon us like a heavy shroud. Suddenly, a distant, mournful wail pierced the stillness, making us jump. It seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere, a sound that chilled us to the bone. Panic swept through the group as we tried to pinpoint its source, but it remained elusive. We continued their exploration, drawn deeper into the labyrinthine paths of the cemetery. As we reached the heart of Silent Hollow, we discovered an old, decrepit mausoleum, its stone door slightly ajar. Curiosity overcame our fear, and we pushed the door open with trembling hands. Inside, the air was thick with the musty scent of decay. Cobwebs hung like shrouds, and the only light came from our flickering flashlights. The walls were lined with crypts, and strange symbols were etched into the stone. At the far end of the chamber, an ominous altar stood, upon which rested a tarnished silver chalice. Before we could react, the mausoleum door slammed shut behind us, sealing us in darkness. Panic set in as we tried to push it open, but it refused to budge. The air grew colder, and the symbols on the walls seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. Suddenly, a ghostly figure materialized before us, a woman dressed in tattered, centuries-old attire, her eyes empty voids. She introduced herself as Abigail, the guardian of Silent Hollow. Her voice was a haunting whisper as she spoke of the cemetery's dark history. Long ago, the townsfolk had made a pact with an ancient entity to protect their town from harm. In exchange, they had agreed to offer up their souls upon death. Silent Hollow Cemetery had become a place where the souls of the deceased were bound in eternal torment, forever guarding the town from evil. In a horrifying twist, the walls of the mausoleum began to close in, and the very crypts seemed to shift and groan. Desperate to escape, we all pressed against the walls, trying to resist the crushing force. The ghostly figure, Abigail, warned us that we had intruded upon the sacred grounds and would now become part of the cursed pact. With a final, blood-curdling scream, the walls of the mausoleum closed in, sealing our fate. Outside, the townsfolk could only hear the echoes of our screams, the distant cries of the damned. The legends of Silent Hollow Cemetery lived on, a place where the living dared not tread, and the souls of the departed continued to haunt the darkness, awaiting the next unwitting victims to wander into their eternal torment. You better subscribe or else Abigail will haunt you. Hope you like this video.